Hello, and welcome to the third video on mortgages for Grade 12 Essential Math. In this video, we're going to look at amortization tables or amortization schedules, which are a way to show what's happening to your money and how it's being used to pay off your mortgage. We're going to start by taking a look at a website called ratehub.ca. This is an online tool which you can use to calculate information about your mortgage and to find current rates, which is a really good way to do this in real life. After this course, if you're wanting to calculate something about your mortgage, use an online tool. Don't do this by hand. Figure out a way to use these tools and get them to work for you, because they'll often do the work for you and you just have to enter a couple numbers. In this case, I've entered an asking price of $275,000, and I've entered some basic information here with current interest rates, which is great. Figured out that the total mortgage payment, we have a 5% down payment. Total mortgage payment is $1,156. There's a couple other scenarios here that we could look at. We're just considering the first column right now. How does this actually work when we're paying off our mortgage? Well, let's scroll down a little bit. Our amortization schedule here has a lot of information in it. We'll come back to this graph in a second. This here is the amortization chart or amortization table. You may notice that this is grouped by year. So here I have the year is 2021. How much will you have paid in total? This here, this total paid, is how much you're paying for your monthly payments. So the monthly payment times 12. The principal and the interest paid, the interest is how much you paid to the bank in interest. The principal is how much you paid off on your mortgage. So how much of your mortgage that you borrowed did you pay off and reduce the amount. The balance here is how much you have left to pay. So after 1 year, you have $263,272 left to pay off. As you go through this, you notice the total paid each year stays the same. All the way down, this stays the same each year. The principal paid changes. Each year, you pay a little bit more off on the principal. Each year, you pay a little bit less interest. And each year, your balance decreases, so you have less to pay off. And when you get down to the bottom here, you may notice that at the very end of this, you have very little left to pay off, and you have a little bit of interest paying each month. So when you get to the end of your mortgage, you're paying very little interest, and you're paying a lot off on your principal. Whereas at the beginning of the mortgage, you're paying not very much off on your principal, but you're paying a lot of interest. You can see in this chart, this graph, how this looks. This dotted line is how much interest or how your balance is going, and you can see it decreases. You can see it start to curve down, so you pay it off faster near the end of your mortgage. When I'm looking at these lines here, you can see the interest on top and the balance on the principal payment on the bottom. As the years go on, you pay more and more off on the principal, you pay less and less interest. This is one of the key things about a mortgage, that you pay a lot of interest at the beginning and very little interest at the end. So the further along you are in the mortgage, the more your money is working for you and the more it's paying off your mortgage and decreasing the balance remaining. So what does this look like if we try and do this in a question? So here's an example. We've got an amortization table here. Notice that we've got it by month instead of by year. When we're doing this by hand, we have to do it monthly because we can't calculate our interest per year. The computer can do that in one step. We can't. In this question here, it's calculated our mortgage payment and our interest already for us. We do know that our monthly mortgage payment stays the same. That's the reason that it's set up this way. So our monthly mortgage payment is $1,034.00. So your monthly mortgage payment stays the same. Again, don't forget your decimal places. Don't forget your units there. Careful with that. Our interest, you can actually see here, is decreasing. Now, our principal should be increasing. And our unpaid balance should be decreasing. These give us a sort of a reality check on what should be happening with these columns. However, it's really important to realize, except for this column, I'm working sideways here. I'm working across, I'm not working down. So if I want to figure out how much paid off on the principal here, I have two ways I can do that. The way I'm going to start off with is this amount here. I take my monthly payment, $1,034, and I subtract what I paid in interest, $710.34, and I have in my principal payment here $323.66. So this here is going to be $323.66. Two things to note. I have to work this way, so I did this, subtract that to get this answer here. I did not work vertically, but my pattern still holds. I went from here to here and it increased, to here and it increased, so that's good. My pattern works great. The unpaid balance in this last column here, well, how much did I pay off? So this unpaid balance here, what I'm going to do is this amount is what I was left with at the end of April. This is how much I paid off in May. So to find this one here, I'm going to take $189,099.34, and I'm going to subtract how much I paid off in the month of May. So that is $324.88. And that works out to $188,774.46. Make sure that you're doing that correctly on your calculator. This here goes right in here, $188,774.46. So this is how much I have left to pay. Notice this is decreasing, which is good. This is less than that. And what I did is I took this number and subtracted that number. I said, how much did I have left at the end of April? I paid off this much in May. This is how much I now have left. Amortization tables are honestly kind of a pain in the butt to do by hand, but they do help us understand how your mortgages work and how your payments work to pay off your interest and your principal. Please don't do this by hand in real life. Use an online tool for this, but you might be asked to do a question like this on a test or an exam. Hope this has been helpful to explain this, and I hope that you have a great day.